This man spared one life, but lost everything. The year was 2016, and a young mother of two named Kirsty Theologo walked through the busy streets of Benoni in South Africa. She had no idea that she would soon become famous all over the world for something she did next. All of a sudden, Kirsten saw a bunch of boys jumping over a wall. It didn't really catch her attention until she saw what was behind them. Huge fire had broken out in an apartment building, and people were desperately running away from it. So people couldn't get out in time, and they ran around on the balconies screaming for help. It was chaos. But then Kirsten noticed something even more terrifying. A group of people stood by watching the whole thing happen. It could have helped, but they weren't. In fact, some of them were laughing and filming with their cell phones. This is when Kirsten knew she had to do something. Without thinking twice, she started running towards the burning building. As she got closer, she heard screams from inside.
Ow.
Someone was trapped up there, and without hesitation she dashed into the flames. Soon, the smoke got thicker and thicker. Kirsten had trouble breathing, and she had to crawl on all fours. But she managed to find the source of the screams. It was a little girl who was so scared she had curled up into a ball. When the girl saw Kirsten, she screamed, "Help me." Ow. But Kirsten could hardly hear her over the roaring flames. Still, somehow she understood that the little girl needed help. So Kirsten put her own safety at risk and managed to get the little girl out of the building. The two made it down just as the roof collapsed. People cheered when they saw the two emerge from the smoke. Kirsten had saved the girl's life, but she herself had inhaled a lot of smoke and was quickly losing consciousness. When she was taken to the hospital, doctors did everything they could to save her, but sadly, she never woke up. Kirsten may have been only 23 years old, but she had already experienced a lot of suffering in her short life. When she was just 16, she was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, a disease that can affect several organs and makes them severely inflamed. For a while, she was able to keep this under control, but when she became pregnant for the second time, the disease flared up again. After giving birth to her son, Kieran fell into a deep depression. She was exhausted and felt like she had nothing to look forward to. But then one day, Kirsten found out about a support group for mothers. She went along and suddenly she felt better. There were other women there who went through the same thing. At home, she also had her partner and her two children, and she knew she had to get better for their sake. She wanted to be a good role model for her kids and teach them to always do what they believe in, no matter what. Kirsten was also very religious, and she prayed every day for strength. She didn't know it yet, but her prayers would soon be answered in a very special way. You might think that Kirsten risked her life to save the little girl because she had no other choice. But that wasn't the case. She actually could have easily stayed out of it, but she decided to help anyway. A few minutes before the incident, she even posted something on Facebook that read, "I don't normally put my life at risk, but today I will if I have to." But why? Why did she decide to jump into the fire? Kirsten must have known that it could cost her life. Well, she probably knew that she wouldn't survive, but she didn't care. See, Kirsten had already made peace with God. She felt that he had greater plans for her, and that she was ready to go whenever he wanted her to. This might sound crazy, but to Kirsten it made perfect sense. In fact, after the incident, her family revealed that she had often talked about dying. She said that when she died, she wanted to become an organ donor so that other people could live. Little did she know that this is exactly what happened. After her selfless act, Kirsten's heart was transplanted into a 52-year-old woman. Her kidneys went to a 48-year-old man, and her liver saved the life of a 33-year-old woman. Kirsten literally gave the gift of life to these people, which goes to show how truly selfless she was. And to honor her, the hospital staff made sure to invite her family to meet the recipients. Kirsten's mother said that she was very proud of her daughter, and that she had raised her to always help those in need. In fact, even as a child, Kirsten was always trying to help others. When she was just 9 years old, she saved her younger brother from drowning in a pool. At the time, her mother, Anna, called her an angel sent from heaven. And now looking at how she died, Anna feels more certain than ever that her daughter was an angel. Anna described her daughter as the most caring, loving, and sharing person she knew. She also thanked everyone for the support they had shown her and her family during this difficult time. According to her, everyone was sending them messages saying that they were proud of Kirsten and thanking her for being such a hero. Of course, the family was devastated by their loss. Kirsten was a wonderful mother, sister, daughter, partner, and friend. She touched so many people's lives, and leaving her behind left a huge hole in everyone's heart. Even the little girl whose life Kirsten saved said that she would never forget her hero. Her name is Zama Luthuli, and she also visited the family. Together with her mother, they brought flowers to Kirsten's grave and thanked her for saving Zama's life. "If it wasn't for Kirsten, I wouldn't be here. She saved my life. I want to grow up to be like her," Zama said. Zama's mother, Faikil Manguni, added that she's thankful to Kirsten's family for raising such an incredible person. But not everyone appreciated Kirsten's heroism. Many people pointed out that she had actually put her own children at risk. After all, if she hadn't saved the little girl, she would still be alive. So her family was partly to blame for the death of the two children. People even went as far as calling Kirsten a bad mother. But her family strongly denied these accusations. They claimed that Kirsten would have done the same thing, even if she hadn't had kids. Saving lives simply made her happy. Others pointed out that Kirsten's death was actually the fault of the people who had started the fire. Had they not done that, Kirsten would still be alive. But I think we can all agree that it was nobody's fault. It was just a terrible tragedy. Still, Kirsten's death sparked a big debate about whether or not ordinary people should help in emergencies. Some people said that it was foolish to jump into a burning building because firefighters are trained to do that. Others said that Kirsten was a true hero and that we should all try to be more like her. Her story truly touched people all over the world. People created memorials for her and left flowers, candles, and messages. They also shared stories about Kirsten and praised her for her bravery. Some people even came up with the idea to make Kirsten a statue, but unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any update on this project. However, Kirsten will forever be remembered as the brave woman who sacrificed her life to save another person. We can all learn something from her and try to be a bit more selfless and loving towards other people. Thank you for watching, and please leave your thoughts and comments down below. See you in the next video.